how are you all doing out there? Hello, hello, hello. All Flavors land, all Flavors universe. I am Wimbo77.
And I'm Naturally Lily. No, Naturally Lily.
Naturally Lily in the studio today and saying hello to you all here on the 1st of December. Oh, wow, wow, wow. It's the 1st of December, Lily.
It's the first of the last of the year.
Of the
I was going to say the month for it.
Oh, me oh my, first. Evening Joy, Evening Joy and Evening Norbert from Castries and guest 716 and guest 190. How are you all doing out there? How are you all doing out there? I must say I've not been very well this past couple of days. I don't know if it was a bug or something that I might have picked up. I'm not too sure. Still feeling a bit flaky, but I'm sure we'll be fine, won't we?
We'll struggle along, we'll be fine.
Yes, we will be fine. And like I said, it's the 1st of December today. We spoke about last week about the Windrush generation, and there's lots of lobbying going on this week because they're due to fly the deportees back home on Wednesday.
Wow, that's come around quick.
It's come around very quick. So it was early on, it was much more earlier in the month that we realised because it is actually this week that all that is going to be taking place.
But I do remember reading somewhere, literally just after the show we had last week, that they were saying that what can't remember the organisation name, but they were saying that what they were doing is illegal, and there's something in the pipeline. Don't know if it will affect those on the wasn't it supposed to be the 30th? No,
it was what they said early on in December.
Early December, okay. So I don't know if it will affect those deportees, but there's something happening.
What they said as well, there's about 60 MPs that are lobbying.
Wow, okay.
You know, the Home Secretary to cancel to cancel these flights to Jamaica. So we'll see. But apparently, from what I saw, it's people that have done criminal activity and all that, and not people from the Windrush generation, but still.
So those are the ones that they're deporting, the ones that have got criminal records and things like that.
Apparently that's it, but that could be anybody, isn't it? And it did say that it would be people that were not born in the UK, but a lot of Windrush generation came and they weren't born in the UK, were they?
No.
You know, so you know their wording, they word things very, very well.
Yeah.
It's called entrapment. Did we hear someone else use that word, entrapment? No,
it was entanglement.
Yes, it was entanglement.
Theirs was an entanglement.
Yes. So we have lots to be getting on with tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to be speaking on young people. We're going to speak on women and men, the pay gap. You know, how do you feel about your wife or your partner earning more than you, your woman earning more than you? However, there is a substantial discrepancy when it comes to male and female pay. And also talking about youngsters and understanding our teens' emotional health as well. So what do you want to kick off with then, Lily?
I quite like the pay gap one.
Yeah?
I think it kind of,
Okay, so there's 67,886,011 people within the population.
Okay.
All right, so there was quite a large number. I think they said it was 8 million people that were laid off.
Wow.
8 million people were laid off or furloughed. All right, during this time. Yeah, but it says among full-time employees, the gender pay gap in April 2020 was 7.4, down from 9% last year. Yeah.
But what is the pay gap?
Well, it's
9%.
Yes, yeah. So, and it depends on.
In the UK, how do they determine what the pay gap is? Because, for example, I could say looking at someone's profession.
Yeah.
So, for example, you may have a majority male doctors, for example, and nursing is predominantly female dominated. Those two jobs clearly have a great pay gap. However, there is an argument as to who does more work. But when it comes to other professions, like what do they, when they offer the job, I thought generally you offer the person, when you advertise, it goes to a man or a woman, and they get what they get. They get what is advertised.
Yeah, but we can't expect a doctor maybe to get the same as a nurse. Do you think? That's like 2 different jobs.
It is, but what I'm saying is, when you look at the type of job it is, generally, when you look at the professions, they are going to be, like, not saying that doctors is male dominated, because there are a lot of female doctors, but you do see a discrepancy in that pay when it comes to the workload. Yeah, but was also speaking about blue collar workers, like if a woman is a head of a department, for instance, that she will still get paid less than someone that's just a male that's probably under her. I think, do you know what it is? I think I've been quite blind to the fact that I just look at everything in a banding system because that's the industry that I work in. I don't haven't really thought about, you know, if you're in more of a, not admin, but like office-based profession, corporation or anything like that. I never really thought about how they would get. Yeah, but women, like it says, the pay gap there, and this is because there's another statistic there speaking that it was 15.5% this year, down from 17.4%. So we can see that it's like 2% drop in the pay gap, but there's still a pay gap. Women are still not being paid. So why is one 7.4%? down from 9%, and then one's 15.5% down from 17%. What's the difference? Because is one full-time, one part-time? Yeah, well, it says among full-time payers, and then amongst all, amongst everybody. Okay. Yeah, and it says that the gender pay gap is close to 0 for full-time employees aged under 40. So I guess there's closer pay. So that is basically saying with more experience, men get paid more than women do. That's terrible. That's saying, oh, that's fine. When you're under 40, you've generally got the same experience. So say we went down the route of, we all went to university, we got the entry level job as the junior office person, and then we worked our way up to executive at 35, 40. Yeah. That's saying when you get to 40, even though we've technically got the same experience as me and the man that joined at the same time as me, he gets paid more. Yeah. Why? We've got the same experience. But it's male dominated. We're talking about a gender pay gap. But the question that we're throwing out to you all this evening is that if your woman earns more than you, how do you feel about that? Do you feel funny about it? Or can you accommodate it? All right, so that's one question that we're going to be throwing out to you, the audience out there tonight. Well, how do you feel about your woman earning more money than you? Because quite clearly here, there is a discrepancy when it comes to like pay. But it doesn't seem like that's possible when you look at this, though, does it? Women earning more than their man. There must be in some instances, because what if you're, say, working in a corporation, but your husband has a lesser role and isn't working in a corporation? He might be doing something else. What, like you're a CEO and he's a nurse? Yeah, could have that. There's many instances, isn't there? Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a bit of ego that comes behind that when it comes to males. Why? I don't know. I feel like because they, you know, before we was talking about gift giving, and we were saying that maybe he might want to get the expensive gifts, but she can technically get it herself. Yeah, but and then he might feel like what he can afford is insignificant compared to her equivalent gift that she would give him. I did see that on something I was watching this week actually, where the wife was earning more than her husband. They went out for a meal. It was Valentine's Day, and the bill came, and it was about $300. So he went to pay,
but his card got declined.
Oh, I think I saw that, and she went to pay it, and she got really upset.
Yeah, he didn't feel like a man. He was really, he wasn't happy that she earned more than him. But sometimes, you know, I think we touched on this before, didn't we? About, you know, that it's one point. It's like everyone's there to support each other. No?
No, because then if she's earning more than him, then technically she's putting more in the pot than he is.
Okay.
Like, for example, he earns $4,000 a month and she earns $2,000 a month. She's not going to put the same amount into the pot than he can put half his wage in, which is $2,000. If she puts in half her wage, that's technically equivalent when it comes to the percentages, but it's not the same amount of money.
Yeah.
But then if you're saying, no, we both got to put the same amount in the pot, well then that's
all
my wages going in the pot compared to what you're putting in. So if the script is flipped and it's his wage that's less than yours, then he's obviously contributing less when you're calculating the exact money amount, even though it's still 50% of his earnings.
But you're both working and bringing into the house. Should it matter? And does a woman have a rainy day fund?
It shouldn't matter. I just think, in my opinion, it should be, if you have a problem with your woman earning more than you, then either don't go for a high-end woman, or
why not
better yourself and get paid more.
What do you mean? No, that's very...
Listen to what I said. If you have a problem with your woman earning more than you, don't go for a high-end woman, or better yourself and get paid more.
Right.
If you're going to be a complainer, why would you, unless it's, I mean, you always got the situation that she before she earned less than me, and now she's shot up and her career's amazing and she does this on the side and she's got loads of side hustles and she makes more than me, and now I earn less than her. Unless it's like that, but I tend to feel like if you've gotten to that stage where you've kind of grown together, that shouldn't really matter.
Because you're saying better yourself. I don't understand in the sense of what if you're trained to a certain degree.
No, yeah, because some things you can only you can only get to a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how good you are at your job, there's only so much you can make up to a certain point. Whereas if you then went off and did, not saying that you need to go and get a degree on top of your degree, some things require you to learn in another. So for example, trading, for example, if you want to do something on the side, you still have to learn to do that thing on the side. So you have, in that way, I'm talking about bettering yourself. But like I said, if you've gotten to a certain point with that person and you've grown with that person, I don't see why that really should be a problem.
So it's really down to the two individuals. And again, if a man's ego kind of gets in the way of the fact that maybe his woman might be earning a bit more than him, whether he'll be up for it or not. What do you think out there? What do you think? Do you think it's all right for your woman to earn more than you? Are you happy that your woman earns more than you? Or do you feel a bit of a way when you think, oh, you know, maybe you're not bringing as much to the table, and feel that you should be like the dominant breadwinner, and you feel bad because maybe, like you said, you can't afford the things that she can afford herself. But then I'm sure she wouldn't put it on him like that.
Yeah, but some women are bitter though, innit?
What do you mean?
Like, they would make it known that they earn more than their man.
Well, that's a bit wrong, don't you think?
Yeah, it's wrong.
Like, to lord it over him.
Some women do it.
Jeez.
Some women do. Some women are that woman, well, look at me, I came from nothing, look where I am now, and you're still where you are, kind of thing. You think in those instances, then it's not surprising if he's got an ego about her earning more than him, because she's kind of making him, she's bringing it to his attention all the time.
And feel a way about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole nother show, isn't it? When you think about it, in the sense of, that's a lack of respect, I'd have thought.
Yeah, fully.
It's not respecting him enough to say, not even mention it. It shouldn't even come into play, right? You're both going to put into a pot to manage and sort stuff out. And like, this is another thing.
But
No.
In response to your question then about the rainy day fund,
Yes.
isn't that a lack of respect? The fact that you've got a little something that you're keeping on the side and you're withholding that information from your other half.
Would you do that?
I'm not going to
Women,
say that out loud on the radio.
Do you do that? Like, because then that again means that it's a kind of get out clause.
That's what I feel like it is. It's like, oh, if something happens, then I'm sorted. But why do you think of the worst case scenario? Why would you even think to that point?
Yeah, of the worst case scenario. Like, yeah, let me have a rainy day fund just in case. Just in case of what? But then it might be just in case, things, not that the fact that you're both going to quit it, but like this year, you might fall on hard times. We did fall on hard times this year.
Yeah.
And it was very, very difficult.
But then is that a rainy day fund that you would keep from your partner, or would you say, I've got a rainy day fund, but you're not entitled to it?
What if you had 2 pots? 2 rainy day funds?
Oh man, that's too much.
See,
too much work.
Go on, isn't it, about it? But it's very true. Like, yes, rainy day fund just in cases, as opposed to, do you know what? If anything happens, then I'm sorted.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the pay gap, and that it does still actually exist in the sense of men earning more than women. But how do you feel about your woman earning more than you? So give us a shout. Oh yeah. Sounds of the king of pop there, MJ, may God rest his soul. So, pretty young thing, Michael Jackson, and the first track was It's Your World by Jennifer Hudson. And I think it was R. Kelly. How do you feel about still playing R. Kelly songs?
I'm sorry, R. Kelly made some bangers.
He made some bangers.
He really did. And if we're painfully honest, we knew how he was way back when we used to play his music before.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. And there's so many other people that have gotten away with everything, and we still probably see them on the TV, see them wherever. So we can't place the judgment. We have to leave that to someone else. Yeah. And I will still play R. Kelly songs, guys. I don't know. He was on that one. So please don't judge me.
But wasn't Anthony Hamilton on that as well?
On the
Jennifer
It's Your
Hudson
World?
one, yeah.
I don't think so.
I thought it was Anthony Hamilton.
No. I'll find out. Could someone tell me out there if it's Anthony Hamilton or R. Kelly?
I think they might both been in it. But going back to
Yes.
the gender pay gaps, I thought it was very interesting. It said compared to lower paid employees, high earners experience a much larger difference in hourly pay between the sexes. There was a fall in the gender pay gap within the managers, directors and senior official occupation groups in 2020. This group has previously been identified as having a notable impact on the pay gap.
There's a higher paid.
I feel like the only reason that's happened though is because of COVID.
Do you think so?
Yeah, they've had to make cuts somewhere, and it just some of the cuts came from the top. If that's what it is.
I don't think they take cuts from the top, to be fair. It's always the people that are the main workers that are doing all the work, the ones that suffer, as opposed to the management that they cream everything off the top. They get the cream, and everyone gets the dregs.
Or maybe the reason why the gender pay gap then has been reduced is because there haven't been that many managers employed.
Maybe
that's why.
Who knows? I'm not too sure. Sorry about that. I'm not too sure. But Joy made a point as regards to the rainy day fund, and she said transparency is truly very important in a relationship. It's called trust, no secrets. Yeah.
No, let's be honest. Everyone's got secrets in their relationship.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
I don't think it's like bad secrets you keep from your partner, but I think like there's certain things that you just don't feel the need to express.
I tell Kenny everything. Because it's just you're holding stuff, maybe because I can't hold things in.
No, I don't mean things like that you can't hold to yourself. I mean things that happen in passing. And maybe that's not the right word then. Secrets isn't the right word to use.
I don't know. I really, trust is very important, and you should be able to talk to your other half about most things. In fact, you should be able to talk to your partner about everything. Good, bad and ugly.
But a rainy day fund is not a secret. We did say though that should be.
Yeah, she says
you
having a
share
little bit on the side is okay.
You share that you've got it.
Yeah.
But they don't have access to it.
That's a bit of a grey area, really, isn't it?
I don't know.
What are your thoughts, ladies? Do you have like a secret stash somewhere? And it's not the fact that you've got a stash there just in case your man's gonna go off or something, but it's there just as a buffer or something.
I mean, I do squirrel away little bits here and there, but it generally tends to be for something.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, anniversary gifts or stuff for the children or things like that. Rainy day fund, I don't really know if I have a hidden rainy day fund.
Not hidden.
But...
Or would you tell the other half how much you have? Evening, Mark Villagy. How are you and Petra doing?
Most probably.
Really? You tell them?
I tell them a portion of it.
Well, you wouldn't then.
If I got like 20 grand, I'll be like, yeah, I've got about 15 stashed away.
Alright, in you saying that, we're throwing this question out to everybody, okay?
Oh, I love it.
So your ex gives you 5 grand for your birthday, okay? Your current partner says to give it back. Will you give it back? All right, there's Olivia. Olivia's calling. Yeah, so that's so true, isn't it?
Yeah, when Olivia was talking, I was thinking about a programme that I watched, and there's quite a few of them where the husband and wife meet, so they meet in university or whatever, and somewhere in that beginning of the relationship, they either get married or she gets pregnant and she doesn't finish her schooling.
Yeah.
And she ends up, he continues his education, he gets a good job, and she tends to be a homemaker. And a lot of these stories, when they turn bad, all end up with the woman having nothing. And that, no one likes to think of the worst case scenario. No one likes to think about that end result. But I never understand why the woman always puts herself aside. Like, yes, the children are important, husband is important, home is important, but there does come a point where you have to think, okay, we're talking about a rainy day fund, but there does come a point where you do have to think, even if it's not about the money, just having something for yourself.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's got what he needs to get, and he's good.
Yeah. Often they go off, start a new family.
Yeah.
You're left with a baby, and like no education.
Yeah.
Or you wait till the children are grown up and then you
Don't
can
know what to
restart
do
your
with
life
yourself.
again.
Yeah.
And that's quite difficult in that sense. So yeah, I totally, when I'm thinking of it like that now, definitely to put something aside.
Because it's not even thinking about, oh, he's going to leave. It's just thinking about, like what you said, when the children get to a certain age, even thinking about when the children start going to school.
Yeah.
When it's just you in the house, you can only do so much cleaning. You can only do so much cooking. You can only do so much ironing.
Yeah.
To the point where you have to have that switch where you can just be like, okay, mummy's been mummy, I've been wife, I want to be me now.
But then that's when it comes to women's empowerment, in the fact that so many women these days now, which is amazing. I really take my hat off to all women that are out there trying to hustle and jump on the entrepreneurship wagon, because there are so many of us that are doing that. And when it comes to that, empowerment, starting their own businesses, even though they've got children. I know this woman, I think she said that her husband did leave her, and she took her last little coins that she had and she went to Dubai and she flipped that. She flipped and she's earning 6 figures now, you know. So at the end of the day, like, it does happen.
Do you think there's a lot more women now that, I'm not focusing on the ones that have had partners leave them, I'm focusing on the family unit, but do you think there's a lot of women now that are becoming self-made women because, not because they're bored, but because they're realising that they can't just be a stay-at-home mum. Stay-at-home mum is a job within itself.
Of course it is.
It's a full-time job, but do you think that they're doing that extra thing because they realise, I need something for me?
Yeah, a mother wears many hats, right? But I just think that in this day and age, a woman realises that, do you know what, I need my own stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, and so she will work towards that.
Yeah.
You know, and have something for herself, like you said.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a matter of having something for yourself. Yes, you got the kids. Yes, you got the man or whatever. You know, but what do you have for you?
Yeah.
And a lot of women get lost in that whole family thing, and then the kids do grow up, and then you're like, oh my goodness,
I don't know who I am.
Who am I? So it's a matter of knowing who you are whilst you're raising your children.
Yeah.
And hence this is why this whole women's movement, you know, thing has come up, and no way, shape or form taking the man out of the equation, because it's very important to have your man in the equation. It's so important, but just having something for yourself and just to give you that, you know, that level of growth, that level of self-development.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's really important. And so true what Olivia said, so true about just having that little side fund. You don't have to divulge every single thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not secretive, like she said, it's cautiousness.
Yeah.
I love the way that she put that.
I do remember, like, when we got married, someone did give us that advice, you know, you have to have a joint account, you have to have this, you have to have that. And there are certain things that I understand why certain conversations need to be had. I think, like you said, finances are such a big contributor to struggles and stresses when it comes to men and women relationships, the married relationship, the partner relationship, whatever kind of relationship. It has such a big effect. I do think you need to have a conversation about the basics of how things are functioning and how things work. And I don't think it should be solely on one person to be, you know, you're at home, you do the finances. No, I do think it should be a shared responsibility, because I do also think when the woman is at home, I think the men just kind of, oh yeah, you know what you're doing with that, you do it. But then flipping the script now on the men, if she wasn't there, would you know what to do?
We were saying that, just paying some bills today online.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what if we was out the equation?
Would you know how to pay your rent?
A woman, she's a doctor, she's a mother, she's an accountant, she's all these things.
Yeah.
You know, and we're very resilient and we do a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but as you said, it's sharing that responsibility as well. It's funny how we've gone on from gender gap and gender pay gap, and you a woman earning more than her man, but really it is shared responsibility.
Yeah.
However, the woman needs to have her little side thing going on and having something for herself too.
Definitely.
What are your thoughts out there? What are your thoughts on the matter? Do you agree? Do you disagree that a woman should have a side hustle, or you know, that a woman can earn more than her man and they're happy about it? Or should a woman be cautious? Is cautiousness secrets? Not sure. And we're also throwing this question out there, guys. Your ex gives you $5,000 for your birthday. Your current partner says to give it back. Will you give it back? All right, so lots of things going on here tonight. And shouting out everyone in the chat room. Chrissy, hi, welcome on board, my dear. Gary and Joanne, Joy, Mark Villagey, Norbert from Castries, and Sonia from East Essen, and everyone locked on from TuneIn and WhatsApp and on Facebook. All right then, Lily. So we're speaking on young people now, right?
Yeah.
we really do love our youngsters. And it's quite funny because my nieces were over on Saturday, and I was dumbfounded with something that they said to me, but I felt that we really needed to cover something on the show as regards to young people and their emotional health, and also their, not so much self-esteem, but the way that they see themselves.
Okay.
Because my nieces are very beautiful girls. They're stunning, absolutely stunning. And for them to think that they were ugly, it took me aback. It really took me aback. And I said, we need to kind of touch on, the subjects, because it's all, we spoke a while ago about makeup and all that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Before. And just to know that it's more than aesthetics, it's more than the way we look. Like they are naturally beautiful girls.
Yes, but they're living in a time now when everything is about the aesthetic.
Okay, so it's the outward appearance.
You've got TikToks, you've got Instagram, you've got goodness knows what other platforms that they're using, that have got people that make everything look like, oh yeah, I'm perfect like this all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what they see all day, every day. So it's not surprising that currently there are maybe quite a few young people who may not think that they're an Instagram standard. That's what I'm going to call it. It's an Instagram standard.
Well, it's all airbrushed. It's not even real though.
Yeah, but we know that.
Yeah.
We know that. But for them, that's what they're looking at. You want to look like that person. When we was younger, everyone wanted to look like Beyonce. Beyonce don't look like that all the time. Everyone got their hair done like Beyonce in that Soldier video, and she had the baggy trousers and the jacket. Everyone wanted to look like Beyonce. I wanted to look like Kelly Rowland, but you know what I mean. You had someone that you looked at that's who you aspire to be like, and now it's not so much Beyonce. It's whichever Instagrammer is or TikTok person is.
Person of the month.
Yeah, who they're following now. That's what they want to look like. The beauty of when we grew up, yes, they were airbrushed, but they were still older airbrushed.
Yeah, and the thing that they apply so much makeup on the face these days, and it says that teenagers, they do transition into obviously adulthood.
Yeah.
But it's a very hard time for them to transition, along with all of those added extra issues that they've got to face. Looking like an Instagram model, or trying to aspire to, I don't know what it is.
I don't think it's the amount of makeup that the person puts on, to be honest. I think because yes, they looked a bit more natural back when we was growing up, but now I think the age of the person that they're aspiring to be like is closer to them.
Okay.
When we were growing up, it was the singers that were a bit older than us. If we were 12 or 15 at the time, that person was in their 20s. So they were that bit older than us. Whereas now they're looking at Instagrammers and these kind of people who are closer to them in age, that are teaching them how to put makeup on, teaching them how to do certain things. And when you're a 14, 15, 13-year-old girl, that makeup isn't turning out like the girl that you're watching every day, it's going to make you feel a kind of way.
It's crazy. But they're not teaching them to go and read a couple of books.
Oh, stop it.
It's true though, Lily, come on.
No, but you can't say that.
Why
because
not?
That's not the society that we live in now. But yes, okay, when no one was teaching us to read books, when we was watching these TV programmes, no one was teaching us to do that.
Yeah, but you read
books. It was
books
a different time. Yeah, but it was a different time. We live in a technological age. So even the concept of reading a book, you don't read books. People go and they listen to podcasts and they listen to audiobooks. And they read books on their Kindle. Everything is on that one piece of technology in your hands. So saying, oh, no one's teaching them to read books. Well, maybe they are saying, go and listen to my podcast. But that same person that's saying, go and listen to my podcast, has 10 videos that's teaching them how to put on makeup.
Okay.
Or making a nice funny TikTok where they look amazing in it and it looks like everything's perfect. Because I see this with my 6-year-old. She's 6. She's not a teenager, but she still does things that I'm like, but you're 6.
Yeah.
That is something that a teenager would do. But it's because of what she's been exposed to. And it's not that she's watching big grown women on whatever platform she's watching on. She's still watching people who are the same age as her, having certain experiences.
So how do you get them ready for society then, if that's the case? Because they are going into adolescence, so they're not quite a young person anymore. They're not quite an older person anymore. They're kind of in between. And yes, they've got school. They've got to fit into school, you know, and this can become a problem, especially with the technology. That I don't know. Mind you, you have older students.
Yeah.
But my students, they're not allowed to have their phones unless we're doing something like a Kahoot or something like that. Then they can get them out to do that. But that is a big issue with teachers these days is that mobile phone, and getting them away from it and really getting them to get into the books, to be educated, to know that they've got to go out and find work and all that kind of stuff as well. Right? You're looking a bit dumbfounded.
Because
dumbfounded.
It's, do you know what it is? When I think about how times have changed, it makes me think about the generation before. Like when you raised us, there was a generation before you that looked at us and they was thinking the same thing. Oh, the children of today, they're disrespectful and there's certain things we did growing that the generation before thought it was unacceptable, but we grew into be, well, most of us grew into be, you know, respectable adults. Now when we look at our youngsters now, they're still the same teenagers going through the same issues that we went through when we were their age. It's just now their exposure to things is heightened because of technology. You can say, oh, take away their technology, but what's that going to achieve?
I'm not saying to take it away, but like even things such as going for a walk, for instance, it's a big deal, right? For a youngster, but they need that exercise. They need to participate in some form of sport or whatever.
Yeah.
But you do not see the youngsters out there, like we used to go play on the football pitch or whatever, kick a ball, go run around the block or whatever. You don't see that these days.
Really? We're in lockdown.
Yeah, well, yes, we are in lockdown, legally.
I'm joking, I'm being the devil's advocate.
Yes.
But no, I get what you're saying.
You know, and it's just these kind of things, because remember, we're tackling our youngsters' mental health here, right? So all well and good, you've got the technology. All well and good, you want to sit up and watch TV for however long you want to watch it for, but
if I'm very honest, I do actually think this. So I currently have, I'm aware of someone who's going through something similar when it comes to how they view themselves. And it is literally because we are now going through a period of time where you are basically being made to listen to your own thoughts. And they might not be positive purely for the fact that let's be honest, we can't really do much at the moment but be on technology or do certain things. And if you are between the ages of 12, even younger, and teenage, so however high you want to take that number, you are going to be on technology. You are going to be looking at what everybody else is looking at, and you're either going to be looking at, oh, that person don't look like me, so I don't like what I look like, or that person, I don't have what that person has, so then you're going to hate the environment that you're growing up in. Like, there's always going to be something that they see someone has that they don't have, and they don't have the escape of, oh, I'm just going to go to the shops with my friends, or I'm just going to go and chill at such and such's house or whatever, because the people around them may really be rigidly following rules and regulations, or they don't have anyone around them that they can go to.
They have been hit the hardest. The youngsters are the ones that have been hit the hardest during this time period because, like we said before, they want to go out, they want to see their friends, they want to do certain things, and they are restricted.
Yeah.
So I guess one way is through the phone,
They're going to be on
WhatsApp
technology.
or whatever, you know. But we've got to prep them for certain things, you know. And again, growing up in a certain environment, maybe because maybe other we spoke of Eton and all that kind of stuff. They're probably in their books. There are probably some kids that really want to study, really want to do certain things, but then there's others, they don't even want to go to school. Yeah. In this climate, you know. But what are we
I don't understand though why you're relating someone feeling the way someone feels about themselves with them being in their books. How?
Because you spoke about them being more in their head.
Yeah.
Whereas if they did read, maybe that could help them. I used to escaping books.
Yeah, but that might not be their escape. Their escape might be music.
Yeah.
But because you spoke about Eton, I don't know, I feel like all children, regardless of where they're raised, what their social climate is, they're all going to have these demons and these struggles of who they are as a person, how they feel about themselves as a person. I don't think that has anything to do with what books they read or that kind of thing. I think it is literally, because even you can say it might not be technology, it might be that the parents that they're raised by may be very, very aesthetic. They may focus a lot on what they look like, and then the children that are being raised in that household are thinking, this is the norm, this is what I'm supposed to do, but I don't look like that.
Yeah, but it's a very overwhelming time for them because they're transitioning emotionally and physically. Yeah.
That's the hardest. It's the physical thing. It's like, yesterday I looked at myself, my face was clear, like talking about the 12-year-old, looked at my face was clear, and today I've got a spotty face and I've got to wear braces.
Yeah. What are your thoughts out there, beautiful people? What do you think as regards to our youngsters' mental health and how we can help them understand it's their emotional health, how we can help them to transition and not feel so overwhelmed by the emotional and physical changes that they experience. You know, it's very difficult as parents raising youngsters, and I'm sure in this day and age, I'm so glad that I raised you guys like back in the day because I don't know if I could manage. I don't know if I could really cope with it, you know.
I think one of the good, just looking through some of these points here, when it spoke about talking about their mental health and how they feel about themselves, is communicating your love for your child is the single most important thing you can do to help them during their teenage years. Yes, this is true, but I think you also made a good point here where it says building their confidence and self-esteem. Sometimes, especially in school, a lot of the time in school, you hear, in my opinion, you hear a lot of negativity from teachers. Yeah. This was my experience from teachers. I wasn't dumb. I really hope that sentence sounded like I wasn't.
No, you wasn't. You wasn't.
I wasn't. I was not a dumb student.
It was their expectations of you. Or,
but I don't even think it was their expectations. Sometimes I did feel like the teachers had it out for me. Like one of my teachers predicted me a U. What would that be now? A 1?
But this is, again, it's like that mindset thing, and a lot of teachers do. You know, they don't tackle the classroom with wellness. Right. They go in with a behaviourist kind of way, and it's listen to me, what I do, and half the time, I know when I was growing up, I didn't understand what the teachers were teaching me.
But then if you went back to a home where your parents were like, do you know what, I understand the teacher's got to do this, but you don't need to think boom, 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 boom. So the teacher's telling you you're dumb, remember, you're just like, you're not getting this, you're an idiot. And then you're going home to your parent, and your parent is just completely blasting what the teacher has to say and instills in you a different kind of confidence where you may be very unintelligent, but your confidence is telling you, no, I mean, I know exactly what I'm doing.
I don't think anyone's unintelligent, that's the thing, because we can all learn. Because I thought I was dumb in school, I really did. But then it was just the approach.
Right.
It was the approach of the educators at that time, because, you know, no, the achievements that have been made thereafter, but it took time after that. Whereas, again, it says building their confidence and self-esteem. I definitely feel that that needs to start from home, so that if they do go into a classroom and the teacher tells them that they're dumb, that they can have a good response for that teacher. And I will be well within my right to say, you know what, you need to set them straight if they are being negative in that kind of way. But also, supporting them emotionally as well, because I can't understand how, you know, young, impressionable, beautiful young girls, but are being influenced in, it's quite negative to me, I think, a kind of negative way.
What, to make them feel
inferior? Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe no one's intentionally making them feel like that. That's just, like I said, the environment that they're in. And when I talk about environment, I'm talking about everything contributes to the environment. Social media, your home, your school, the person cat whistling at you on the street contributes to your environment. If you're just feeling like all of that is negative, then you're going to be affected emotionally, aren't you?
Definitely. It's all about wellness and instilling within your youngster that they are beautiful. Still instilling in your youngster that they don't need to look at these people and be influenced by them.
But do you think that once they get to a certain age, you know, that's kind of a challenge? Because I think when I look at Jayla, she's very confident, even though sometimes she might say certain things and I'm just like, I'm just talking nonsense, but she started nursery confident, she's gone into school confident.
But that's because it's instilled from the home.
But then I feel like every child goes through that stage where they can have all the confidence in the world. There's a point when it becomes, or is there a point when that gets a bit lost?
School does, because school kind of breaks it out of us. Remember, like, we'd go jump off the highest thing and just not think twice about something, but as you get older, your levels of like, oh no, I'm going to hurt myself, I'm going to break my leg, I'm going to, you know, this thing starts kicking in. I don't know what it's called, you know, or teachers will say be sensible, or, you know, and then you start getting restricted in the way that they think, because young people are very impressionable, you know, so like that's where the confidence comes in. But then when you go to school and your teacher might call you dumb, bang, that's a knock on your self-esteem, you know, or certain beliefs or people around you, you might get bullied, who knows, bang, that's another knock on your confidence. And it's all out the window in that sense. So this is why building their confidence and self-esteem from home, supporting them emotionally from home, also providing them safety and security, knowing that anything out there, you can go and fight anything out there and combat anything out there. Right? What's so funny?
Sorry, that one makes me laugh when you said fighting, because I encouraged Jayla to do something once.
Right.
She took it to school and I got in trouble for it.
She wasn't
but
fighting,
I feel like
mate.
she was doing the right thing.
She was defending herself.
Yeah.
Miss, this kid keeps hitting me. Miss isn't doing anything about it. If Miss doesn't do anything else about it, slap him back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the best thing.
But this is what I'm saying. We're told, you know, oh, you can't tell your child that. But this goes exactly back to what you're saying about the school restricting that.
Yeah.
You know, how far you can go with your child, what you can tell your child to do.
What are your thoughts out there, beautiful people? Do you think it's right to have that scenario that your child is being bullied at school maybe, or someone is troubling them. They tell the teacher about it, and the teacher does nothing. Do they take the law into their own hands? Do you tell your child to take the law into their own hands and do what they have to do in order to stop being bullied? Right? Let us know. Give us a shout, and yeah, we'll carry on the conversation. Loving the mem in the chat room. Michael Jackson. Oh yes, he was truly the king of pop, wasn't he? And it's quite funny, Lily, because they've got a musical coming out. It's a Bob Marley musical.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so look out for that, guys. There's this Bob Marley musical, and yeah, it's going to. Tickets are on sale for the world premiere of this musical, and it's a stage play. And Cordelia Marley presents Get Up, Stand Up, directed by Clint Dyer. So check that out. I can't remember what. It's at the Lyric Theatre, Shaftesbury Avenue, in June 2021. So let's hope we are allowed out, and that we can all go and see that. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
It'd be lovely.
When you think about it, a nice kind of tribute to Bob Marley. That'd be wonderful, wouldn't it?
It'd be nice. I'd go and see it.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, so continue with that discussion there, Lily, regarding our youngsters and their emotional health. What pointers can we give people? Are there parents out there? How do you help your youngsters emotionally to, you know, go through that emotional and physical change in adolescence? And how do you find their time on technology? Does that help them? Does it not help them? Does it, you know, is it a big problem? Let us know out there. It's 07895 134 713. That's 07895 134 713.
I think communication is so important. I think when it's hard to communicate with your parents, you're going to sit and go through this struggle on your own, or you're going to communicate with the wrong people. And especially in the world where you can communicate with anybody around the world, you know, you want to be so careful when it comes to, you know, who your children are communicating with and things like that. But I don't know, because we're talking about teenagers, by the time they get to this point, you should have had good communication with them up until this point. Because if it's now only just, oh yeah, my children feel this way, let me start communicating with them, they're going to think it's weird.
It's too late. We've got to catch them while they're young, really, because, yeah, there's no point in... I remember it was a mother that I saw, she picked up her little one from school, and she was just on the phone, and the little one was like, "Mummy, mummy, mummy," and she was like, "Oh, just wait, you know," and she was on the phone, and when it turns around, she's going to be talking, "Oh, baby, talk to mummy, but you didn't take time to talk to me when I needed you to talk to me." So when our kids have something to say, it's taking the time out to stop and listen to what they have to say. And not just, you know, again, that behaviour, pointing the finger, whatever, you know. It's tough, but...
I think this goes back to one of our previous chats there when we spoke about should you be the parent or be the friend. When, in my opinion, Caribbean, African cultural parents tend to just talk at you as opposed to want to sit down and listen and, you know, hear what you have to say. And sometimes I think that's our issue. Our issue is the fact that we think, no, you listen to what I have to say, or it's my way, or there's no way. And then that's where the communication becomes a challenge. And I think that's where we have to kind of break those barriers when we are talking about communicating with our children. Because even sometimes I find myself doing it where maybe, you know, the young one wants to have a conversation and it's just like, oh, not right now, you know. But you do need to really... It's in those moments where you have to stop and think, no, actually, she wants to talk to me, let's have a conversation.
The world's a very, very different place. It's a very different place. And there's a question there that I've had there that I wanted to pose as well about are British Caribbeans, because I think we're going the other way. So are British Caribbeans losing their cultural identity? Because are we becoming more assimilated to the European way of life?
Yeah.
In the fact that we let our children get away with things a lot more these days.
But I don't think it's
back in the, you know.
I don't think it's about letting them. This is where we need to really think about our parenting.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that have been taken away from us to this, you know, we can't smack our children and things like that, which actually I don't know if I agree with the whole smacking thing. I'm going to get a lot of people saying, oh, you know, you must do not spare the rod, you know.
I saw that today or something. I was like, what?
So
they said the person that you're going against God because he says to use the rod.
Yeah.
You know, but the rod of discipline, it's a rod of discipline. So it's not necessarily a literal stick or a switch from outside that, you know, that
when your parents just beat you with everything.
Or belt, yeah, everything, brush, belt, switch, whatever. You know, so it's not that, it's a rod of disciplining your youngsters. You know.
But why do we relate discipline to our culture? This is what, because this is where our conversation has kind of
turned around
in a circle. It's gone from, have we lost our cultural identity? And then we've brought that round to the discipline, whereas our culture is not just about beating our children.
But we were speaking about our youngsters' emotional health.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, not and allowing them, because we said we were allowing them to do certain things more, as opposed to the old way that our parents used to do it.
Which was?
Get licks. Done.
Yeah.
You know, no talking, just like, right, get your backs out, you know, that's how it was, you know. So these days we speak to our kids. You know?
Yeah, I just think sometimes beating's not going to get me anywhere.
It's not.
Do you know what I mean? You know, okay, I know if I go and do this, then my mum's just going to give me 3 licks and then I'm going to cry and then I'm going to go back and do it again. You know, or you just start hiding things, not
do that too.
You know, doing it behind your parents' back, which, don't know if all the Caribbean parents knew this, but their children were doing things behind their back.
Of course they were. Of course they were.
You know, so it's that. It's how do you find the balance? I think, you know, everyone laughs and thinks it's a joke when we talk about how European parents treat their children, but, you know, maybe we want them to take a page out of our book, maybe we do need to take a couple pages out of their book and
it's not about corporal punishment.
Try and adapt our
like
methods.
I said, we're understanding our teens' emotional health, and there were 4 points there: building their confidence and their self-esteem, supporting them emotionally, providing them with safety and security, so maintaining routines and so forth, and also teaching them resilience, because that's what it is. When we said of you going in and your teacher saying that you're dumb, you teach them resilience to say, well, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, you teach them how to make it through the tough times, all right? So you might not feel that you're beautiful, but you are beautiful, and you will make it through. This is just a time of transition. This is just a time of change, that emotional change and physical change. So if we do get acne or whatever, it will go, right? Or there's ways that we can work things out, you know. So just realising that, but just being there for our youngsters, because it's really an emotional time.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
It is.
So girls, you're beautiful. All my nieces are beautiful. And youngsters, you know, looking up to maybe these influencers. All right, but remember the airbrush, there's filters, some of those filters on Snapchat and all that stuff, they're not real. You can't look like that, okay? It's just, I don't know how they do it, how they can just enhance the face with those filters, like, you know.
A lot of makeup.
So yes, Lily?
No, but I was just thinking about, you know, we raised the question about cultural identity. Maybe that is also a part of, that plays a part in why our our youngsters in particular are feeling a certain way. Maybe they don't really not understand, maybe they don't really know where they come from. And if I do think it goes back to this concept of people saying, oh, you're not Jamaican, or you're not African, or you're not this, you're English. When actually that is taking their culture away from them.
Yeah,
because they're not. They're this. Yes, we may have the passport or whatever, but what is our culture? Like, where do we come from? What is our food? What is our music? What is our cultural attire? It made me laugh when I saw, I can't remember which singer it was, with Bantu knots and the Jamaican flag.
Okay.
On her body. She had a bikini on or something. And I remember joking with someone and saying, if only they knew what our actual traditional dress looked like, would they still want to go and wear it?
Yeah. Because the Jamaica, they've got the white dress with the
tartan.
Yeah, it's the tartan kind of, and even Montserrat.
Yeah,
it's all quite similar. Yeah, it's quite similar, but they just have we have the different flags. But our culture, we all came from Africa. Well, some of us were possibly in the Americas as well. Not all of us came from Africa, but some of us were in the Americas as native Indians. Yes, we were there. And it was just taken away.
But this is what I'm saying. Do we, like, we were very, very fortunate. We was raised by parents who, we ate our traditional food. We had our grandma that taught us, you know, different foods to cook and things like that, and we learned a lot about our ancestry from our grandparents as well. So we've had that put in us to do that searching to find out who we are, and I think it's very important for us now to then instill that in our children.
And it's quite funny because did any of you guys fill in that ethnic disparities form? I hope you did. I really do, because it highlighted about that, about culture, and it spoke about the school curriculum and what can we do in order to make the curriculum better.
Yeah,
these are the things that should be in the curriculum. You know, highlight our culture. Don't just have it as a month. Have it all year round. You know, and it spoke about things about the police and how, you know, how can we have better communications with them and just, you know, so I hope you guys were able to fill in that form. There was a lot of questions, but you didn't have to answer all of them. You could just took one or two and answered. It has closed, but let's see if anything comes from it. We'll see, and we'll just take it from there. I mean, Lily, it is the 1st of December, right? 2020, right? And we're near the end of this year. It's just like, how crazy? How crazy is that? And yeah, here talking, it's our show number 18. It's just so...
It's gone so quick.
It really, really has. And
we've had very quick.
Such a great time just coming in and speaking to you all out there. Just shouting out all the DJs on the station. George FLAVAS, Sour Malaysia, and DJ Laro, who will be on from 8 till 10 tonight. Hi Maureen. Also DJ Slim, great show last night. And you can catch DJ Slim on a Monday and a Friday. And also DJ Nige, who you can catch on a Saturday and Sunday. Mark Philogene, he will be on from 10 until 12 tonight. And Charlie Muir, who will be on tomorrow from 7 till 9, along with Darnell, who's on from 9 until 11. And the original Mr. Fix-It, you can catch the original Mr. Fix-It on a Monday, a Friday and a Sunday. Ninja Man Lloyd, you can catch him on a Thursday and Sunday. And John J.E., who does a great gospel show on a Sunday, along with DJ Caddy as well. You can catch DJ Caddy on a Thursday evening. So check out the All Flavors website. And guys, come and join us in the chat room. We've only got like 21 minutes left. So come and join us in the chat room and have your say. What's your thoughts on the comments and things that we've been speaking about tonight? Do you agree with tapping into your youngsters' emotional health? They have put a stay on the Windrush, not the Windrush, sorry, the deportees. They were going to deport them on Wednesday, but that's had a stay because the petition was filled out. You see, a petition gets filled out. I think there was quite a lot of signatures on that one, and they've got to hear it in Parliament. So we can all make a difference. One by one, we can all make a difference. Lily, you wanted to say something?
No.
No? Okay, yeah. So we can all make a difference. So filling out these forms, remember it's to the betterment of ourselves. And really, if we don't do it, then nothing's ever going to change. Oh yeah, the sounds of DJ Super D and Mr. Taffa, King and Queen. And you know, you guys are all kings and queens out there, right? We're all kings and queens. And yes, that's all one can say on that matter, really. It's just recognising who we are. We spoke about our culture, and that's where we've come from, royalty. And it's recognising that and just living that way and working with it as well, because yeah, we were torn from wherever. We ended up here, right? So we've got to teach our youngsters exactly the same thing. There was a really funny story in the news this week, Lily. Yeah. We've got to share it with you guys. So, you know, it was Black Friday last week, right? And this young guy, he saw this settee in Argos for 30 quid, Black Friday. Oh my goodness, Mrs. is going to be so happy. Anyway, so he buys the settee, and lo and behold, it was for Doll's House. Yeah. His wife wasn't too happy. She was not too happy.
I would be vexed.
Her friend told her, she phoned her up and said, you do know that's for Doll's House, right, that settee. No. So obviously it's come. If you still, I think it was on the, type in Man Argos £30 sofa.
But hold on.
A dolly on the sofa.
But this is what I'm saying. He would have seen a dolly on the sofa. Or would have been in the kids' toy section.
No, but he bought it from Argos.
But that's what I'm saying. If it was from Argos, wouldn't it have been in the kids' section?
But don't forget, I don't know, maybe he saw it online. Like just, you know, they have lots of little pictures. And he saw this lovely grey, it's a corner suite, by the way. Corner suite. And it was for Doll's House.
At least he could get his money back in it. Get a refund.
Yeah, so guys, not every deal that we see from Argos on Black Friday was a good deal. Oh,
did he try and surprise his wife with it?
He did. He got a bit of a shock.
You can't get vexed at that then if she tried
to. Her friend phoned up and said, you do know that's for the Doll's House, and then you see the little doll sitting on it in the picture. I just thought that was hilarious. It was very, very funny. So I just thought we'd share that one with you.
Right.
Yeah, so do we have...
See, after that, I wish I picked my other, Think and Grow Rich point.
Right, but what's the point for this week?
This week I have chosen, what number is it? It's number 11. And it is the subconscious mind.
Okay.
So today we've spoken about the gender gap when it comes to pay, but we've also spoken about men who have women who earn more than them in a relationship. Should we have our rainy day fund? Do we keep secrets? That kind of thing. The £5,000 question didn't get answered, but that's out there. That's out there.
To beautiful people. Never mind. We might pose it again next week.
Yes, but then we've also spoken about the thoughts and feelings that our young ones may have. So the subconscious mind consists of a field of consciousness in which every impulse of thought that reaches the objective mind through any of the 5 senses is classified and recorded, and from which thoughts may be recalled or withdrawn as letters may be taken from a filing cabinet. And it speaks about what the 7 major positive emotions are and the 7 major negative emotions are.
Yeah.
So for every emotion there's a counteractive emotion, right? Yep. So we've got the 5 positive. No, I'm going to start with the negative because we want to
finish on a positive
yeah.
point, yeah.
So the 7 major negative emotions are the emotion of fear, the emotion of jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, and anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the I keep on saying 5. Is that one?
7.
Funny number today. The 7 major positive emotions are desire, faith, love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, and hope. So for every action, there's a reaction. And I think the way what we've spoken about today, we spoke about how we can, give our young ones that self-esteem and help to promote their self-love. One of the positive emotions is love. And
it covers everything though, doesn't it?
It literally covers everything. I know as parents we say, oh, I love my child, we love our children, we do, but does our love extend us to go out of what the norm is? We spoke about our Caribbean identity, and we've linked our Caribbean identity to be one of the things is discipline. And as much as we have been raised that way, can we look at it and think maybe there's certain things in that I may not do the same?
Because it's all belief as well, isn't it? It's all the way that we break these negative beliefs and paradigms, these ideas that we've probably grown up with that were made to be right.
Yeah.
But sometimes they weren't so right.
Yeah.
Maybe they were wrong. So just questioning, there's nothing wrong with questioning things, And as you said, there's 7 of those. I love that book, such a good book. If you can, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Love covers everything.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to our youngsters as well, that the love is going to do it for them.
Yeah. And sometimes you may say to yourself you love your child, but communication, do you communicate that with your child? Not just saying I love you. Of course I love you, you're my child. No. Do we actually sit and have those conversations with them about things that they want to communicate
Discuss.
about?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, thank you so much for your company tonight. And I tell you, the time goes so quick in the studio. If there's anything that you'd like us to speak to you about, please just drop us a line. Drop us a link. You can always give us a shout on 07895 134 713. That's 07895 134 713. And yes, we talk on all different topics. This week we thought we just weren't going so heavy with some of the stuff because it was quite a lot to get through last week. But remembering those Windrush people, we still, if the petitions come round and we can sign them, please sign up. And anything that's to do with us, let's just jump on it so that we can have our voices heard, and we'll see a difference when it comes to that as well. Yeah. So thank you guys. Another shout out. We'll give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat room. Chrissy, DJ Laro, who's on next, he's on from 8 till 10. Gary, Joy McKay, Mark Philogene, the original Mr. Fix-It, Norbert from Castries, Pele, Sonia, and also guests 537, George Flavors, all the DJs doing fabulous job on the radio. Thank you so much for the opportunity here. And if you'd like to play on the radio, please just go along to the website, check it out, and submit a form, and I'm sure that the admin will get straight back to you. So whatever you're doing, guys, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and we will see y'all
on the other side.
Take care.